Hi, I'm Dr. Tabitha, the Gutsy Gynecologist. I'm a triple board certified OBGYN and functional medicine physician. I've embraced the world of functional medicine and wellness through my own personal health journey, and I'm super excited to share my wisdom and unique perspective as it pertains to women's health. After caring for thousands of women, I've come to realize that your gut health determines your gyne health and your overall health. And it's a super gutsy thing for me to go against conventional gynecology practice to bring you the truth. No more Band-Aid medicine, ladies. We're talking root cause resolution on this show. So if you're struggling with hormone imbalance, weight gain, period issues, anxiety, insomnia, you name it, then you've come to the right place. And I want to be your gutsy gynecologist. So welcome. All right, ladies, I'm really excited about this week's episode. This is literally for all of you. Everybody's, age 20 something and up. So we are talking about vaginal health. And specifically, we're going to talk about a new product that is really revolutionizing vaginal health. It's pretty amazing. Like, I have a vaginal laser in my office called Diva by Sciton. And it uses light energy to cause micro perforations in the tissue of the vaginal tissue to stimulate new collagen growth, new epithelial cells so that you have more tightness, elasticity, more moisture, things are functioning the way they're supposed to. And it's an awesome treatment. It's, really quick. After you get numbed up for 20 minutes, it's about a 5-minute procedure. And we recommend for women who are having symptoms of vaginal dryness, painfulness with intercourse, bladder leakage, different things like that, that you do 3 treatments and at least a yearly maintenance. For younger women who don't necessarily have a lot of symptoms, but they want to maintain their health down there and keep things optimal, we, recommend a yearly treatment. And my guest today has created a product that does something very similar without the invasive procedure. So that's really amazing. So CO2 is a gas that, when put on the skin, has the effect of drawing blood flow, oxygen and blood flow to the surface to rejuvenate and regenerate those cells. And she has a skincare gel called CO2 Lift that she's been using on the face, and it's been amazing. And she had an epiphany, why can't we do this for vaginal tissue? And so now she has a new product, and I'm really excited to talk to her about it because it's widely available and you do it right in your home. So it's so much easier. And the cool thing is that it enhances any procedures that you do or want to have done. So it's like multiplying the effect exponentially, which is really amazing. So we are going to talk to Lana Kerr. She's the CEO of Lumisque Skincare, home of the CO2 Lift V Carboxy Gel, V for vagina, obviously. It's the first and only natural non-invasive method for skin rejuvenation and regeneration that uses carbon dioxide to hydrate and reoxygenate the skin, creating hydration, firmness, and lift. Her work has revolutionized the way doctors ranging from dermatologists to gynecologists treat their patients, and she's received recognition from celebrities such as Chrissy Teigen. Lana has devoted her life to health and wellness with over 2 decades of experience as a wellness coach, public speaker, business owner, and best-selling author. Her revolutionary products have changed the lives of, listen to this, you guys, cancer patients, burn victims, and post-pregnancy patients, and more with their revitalizing healing properties. So this is amazing for your average so-called healthy woman. It's amazing for menopausal women. It's amazing for women who are on hormone suppression, post-cancer, and women who've just had babies. Like, anything that's going to change the health of the vaginal tissue, this product is helping. So that's pretty amazing. So, like I said, it prevents aging, but it also promotes a sense of empowerment because you're taking care of your vagina. You're doing something to keep that area healthy, which can spill over into your personal relationship and your enjoyment of life and your mental well-being. So we're going to talk about all of that. It's so amazing. I'm really excited about this product, and she's going to send me some so I can try it. I'll probably start offering it to women in my office. So this is really cool. But if you want to check it out, there's a link in the show notes for a discount code for you guys to go purchase it. So definitely check that out. So let me know what you think of this episode afterward. All right, here we go. Well, welcome, Lana, to the Gutsy Gynecologist Show.
So great to be here, Dr. Tabitha. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited about this conversation because we do not talk about vaginal health enough in this country, just as women, with our girlfriends, with our doctors. Wouldn't you agree?
Definitely. I'm so glad that these conversations are having more often now. I wish but I needed them. Well, I still need them. But after kids, there was no, what do you go to? You go to your gynecologist who wasn't thinking the way you're thinking. So I'm so glad to meet you and be having this conversation because it's well needed right now.
And that's how you developed this product, right? You went to your gynecologist and were pretty much told, that's it, you're aging.
Yes, that's exactly right. It was interesting. I started to really hone into my sexual uh, vibe, if you want to call it, in I would say my late 30s, where I really tried to understand the quality of sex. And so it's an interesting story because I had gone to my mother and I just said to her, Mommy, how do I know that I'm having good sex? And this changed my life, actually. She said that good sex is like playing tennis. It's just a different set of balls. You just you have to focus on hitting the ball. And why it changed it for me is because, when you think of Serena Williams, when she's hitting the ball, she doesn't care how her face looks. Her whole purpose is to connect with the ball. And so for me, it changed because then I could understand that sex is not about a performance. It's more about a connection. And that sort of switched things in my mind. So I really got into that and I really started enjoying sex more. So when I got into my 40s, I was able to detect a difference. I could see a difference in how I was feeling as much as my attitude was the same. Everything was constant or consistent, but it was just something changed in terms of my feeling. And that's why I went to go to my gynecologist. And I just said to her, I'm just not feeling the same way, and she's like, I'm not feeling him in the same way. So she just said, yeah, pretty much, Lana, you're getting older. Dr. Tabitha, she did have a device. She had the Mona Lisa touch. And she said, something, maybe we should schedule this. I don't think it's necessary right now, but maybe within the next 6 months, schedule something. So I scheduled it. And on the way home, I was thinking, something, we have something that works very much like an energy-based device, the CO2 lift. They're using already for the face and the body.
Yeah.
Why not try this? And then we started this clinical study, and then here we are now.
That's so amazing. So you just realized like the tissue just needed to be supported and needed help to get healthy and youthful again, right?
Exactly, which we're doing on other parts of the skin. And what's the difference with intimate skin? Skin between your legs is just as, or even maybe some will argue even more important in terms of quality of life. So yeah, once I realized that, and we wanted to check for, first of all, safety, and then for, efficacy. We did that, and as again, thousands of happy client stories later, we're having this conversation. So yes, that's how it came about. CO2 Live V.
Wow, that's so amazing. Okay, so I know that women may have heard of CO2 laser for the face. Explain what's happening with that process.
Okay, very good. So carboxytherapy is a therapeutic use of CO2 gas to regenerate the tissue. And it's a very natural process that takes place, which I know you know this, but the Bohr effect, you put CO2 into the body, and then it's going to trigger a series of events that starts that regeneration process very quickly. So the capillaries increase and forces oxygen, because it needs to rebalance, forces oxygen rich blood to that area. And then in that process, you're getting all the nutrition from the blood is rushing there. So it's like a rush of oxygen. And then, of course, the waste leaves in that direction as well. So we're having that great interchange taking place. So when you put it, regardless of where you're putting it on, but specifically we're talking about vaginal, what's the difference with a CO2 laser? Well, there's no downtime, there's no pain involved. It's when we use energy, you're simply, controlling the damage, control heat to start triggering the body to regenerate. This is doing the same thing without damaging the body, because by virtue of the fact that you put CO2 gas into the skin, that process is going to start happening. And I like to say this because just to kind of give imagery towards it, but we could put the same gel, which is what it is, a gel. If you put it, for instance, on a non-healing diabetic ulcer, that wound can close in as little as 8 days. So that's how quickly the skin regenerates. So think of that. I know we're not talking about that there,
No,
but
I think
it's
that's an amazing picture for someone to understand, like, how reparative this really is.
yes, yes. And yet it's very cooling. So it's a nice sensation, and it's something that doesn't really take any effort, because you put it on at night, and in the morning you wash it out, and then you're good to go, and there's no downtime. However, it can be used in conjunction with a CO2 laser, with a diva, whatever other modality that you choose to use, simply because of the fact it's going to enhance it. And I know a lot of the radio frequency, they don't have any real downtime, so it's going to enhance it and even extend the results of the procedure.
Wow. So the same situation is happening in the vaginal tissue. It's sending blood to the source to, combat the CO2 in response with all this oxygen rich blood and bringing the nutrients. That's amazing.
Yeah, it really is. I cannot wait for you to try it yourself,
I
to
can't
see it.
wait either.
Yes.
And a decrease in blood supply is one of the biggest reasons women no longer have that same sensation. The nerves start to die, the tissue shrivels up like a raisin, all of that, and I have heard you on other podcasts talking about the fact that this can be used after childbirth and anytime a woman feels like she needs to rejuvenate that area, right? It's not just for menopausal women, right?
Correct, correct. In fact, childbirth, we talk about, so many women today are on medication for maybe anxiety, for depression, even for sinus issues, because you think about, you use sinus medication or allergy medication to dry that passage up. Well, that's just another passage in your body that's going to be affected. So this is going to help women, regardless of their age, to just get back themselves. Or even I like to think of, in this country, we were so late in terms of the skin, regenerating that skin or maintaining it. Here in the United States, we start so much later than maybe say in Korea or in other parts of Asia. They start at a very young age to prevent or stave off aging. So they're starting like at 15 when we're starting in our late 20s, 30s. For me, it was in my 30s. So it's about prejuvenating or just preparing before. So if you can keep that tissue fresh, you've staved off these things. So I really always think of, I know it's more of a transition because we started with the face, we're catching on with that, but no, we have to get to our other more, I'd like to say, important skin for a woman. Yes.
Yeah, without a doubt. I see women all of the time who are struggling to be intimate with their partners, and because it's painful, it's dry, it burns afterward, or they get recurrent bacterial vaginosis infections, yeast infections, bladder infections, all of the above. And it makes it really hard to enjoy sex and want to, be intimate. So I'm with you. I'm all about, like, let's prevent that because it's so much easier to maintain that healthy tissue than it is to try to reverse time and get that, health back. I couldn't agree with you more. So women should start using your products like in their 20s. They don't even need to wait for all these issues, it sounds like.
Correct. And then what for them, for younger women, they really just maybe need always three to get started. You do one a week for 3 weeks, and then you can do it. You can maintain, once every other month, maybe every 3 months. In other words, something that you're doing to prepare and regenerate that tissue is important. Now, for women who have symptoms, they're going to require maybe even a little bit more than 3 treatments once a week. And then I always encourage monthly treatments. However, I've seen some cases where, when they treat themselves, whether it be 3 to 10 treatments, depending on their symptoms, once they've corrected that, they may not need to repeat that for another 8 to 10 months. So that's another option. But what I love about this too, Dr. Tabitha, is not only that you're changing the physiology of that area, but it's for women, I think it's important because it keeps our mindfulness there. We're so in our heads, as opposed to, say, men who really, that's why they call that their second head. They can jump right in, and the breeze blows, they're going to get a reaction.
Right.
Whereas for us, we're more cerebral. I think that the act of simply taking care of that, even on a monthly basis, it just puts expectation that that's going to be enjoyable. It keeps our mind on that part of our body and a part of that life that is actually going to enrich our lives if we engage in, with our partner in this activity. So I feel like it's more than just a physiological change. We're getting an emotional connection, that mind vagina connection.
Yeah.
We're keeping by maintaining that area.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I think that's so key because, like you said, we're just running around as women trying to have it all, do it all, be it all, right?
Yes.
Except we're really kind of neglecting our vaginal health and our sexual health. And we're just assuming that it's supposed to come natural and easy. And the truth is, it just doesn't for a lot of women. We got a lot going on in our head. It's hard to relax and get into it and enjoy it. Okay, so what you're recommending is a few treatments up front and then more of a maintenance plan. And are there any downsides to using this? Are there any women who shouldn't use it?
I always say there must be some type of segment in our women or that should not be, but up until now, that's not the case. I mean, you're thinking about, it's really just a natural, it's CO2 gas. Every breathing person is using CO2 gas to live. So it's just a matter of triggering our body to continue. As you talked about blood flow and microcirculation, that slows down. After really in our 20s, it starts slowing down. And that's why we start needing to regenerate, having to do things to keep that process happening so we can get that cell turnover. So this is just helping our bodies to do that. It's like giving a vitamin to help to make our, systems function better. That's similar to what this is. And the lubrication factor and the sensitivity factor for a woman, I think, is important. But you even mentioned, infections. This is because the pH on this is perfectly balanced for that area. It's going to help to keep our pH level, to prevent those infections even. So I think it has such a wide range of indications for why women and every type of woman can be able to use this, because even if you don't want to take hormones, this is hormone free. So I don't think of a woman that I wouldn't recommend this to.
Well, that's a game changer. The fact that it can really help prevent recurrent yeast infections, vaginal infections, all of that. That could be a game changer for women. So, Lana, where do women get this product?
So they can get it from their gynecologist, or they could go to the CO2 Lift website, and they can just go to the CO2 Lift fee and just order it. In terms of the price, as they'll see, it's really less expensive than other alternative solutions. So I like the pricing of it. I like the convenience. I like the fact that you can do it in the privacy of your home. I think that's important. But as much as we work a lot with doctors and they have equipment, which I think is fantastic to be able to, for women who want that. This is something that it's like almost like a warranty. You go and get a TV and any kind of expensive piece of electronic equipment, you normally buy some type of warranty, extended warranty. That's what this is. This is extending the life of a procedure that they received from a physician like yourself, or even to enhance the results of that procedure. So
Yeah.
yes, something I wanted to also say, so many women today are taking away all the hair down there too. So they're interested in the even aesthetic look of it. I think this is something too that is an option for women who are looking to that. That's one of the benefits they're going to find. They're going to find that skin is because it's reconditioning that whole area. So it's going to look more plump. It's going to, the part of sexual enjoyment is also on the labia, the clitoris. And so using it that in that area, it's going to help to plump that area up. So again, more blood flow, softer skin. So it's going to give a nice look and even a tighter look of that area by using it on the outside as well as the inside.
Oh my gosh, I think that's amazing because that's an area that is a little bit more painful to do procedure wise.
Yes.
And takes a lot more numbing. And the fact that it can replump the labia, I think a lot of women don't like that deflation, that deflated look
Yeah.
that happens as we age and we lose the collagen, we lose the fullness in the lips. So, wow, that's really cool. Okay. I
Yes.
love this.
I'm trying to think of things. Yes.
Yes.
That's yeah. And I mean, and I'll just you say this too, especially, you think of when people have babies and they get hemorrhoids. I mean, I've had some physicians who've used it for women with hemorrhoids, again, the same way. It's just basically, and I'm not sure why. I mean, I've used it on myself as well. And amazing how it's just went back in, it just repaired that area. So just some areas, just some thinking that people, what do you do? I mean, I've had girlfriends, what do you do when you do this and this happens in regards to hemorrhoids? And I always recommend it, and they have really gotten the results. So again,
Mm.
it's how versatile this is.
Yes. Oh my
Yes.
gosh, that's amazing. And I was thinking of like some women don't even have access to procedures and things like, the laser and the radio frequency ablation. Like, so this is a really nice option for someone. And you said you just do it at home. You get it in the mail, you do it at home. Is it a messy process? Let's just be real about that
Yes,
piece of it.
yes. Something, some women do find it to be a little bit messy. I don't think so. I think it takes a little bit of practice, because I think the most complicated part of it, and I wish I had one to show you, is actually pulling it in the applicator, because you're going to get the two packets. You mix it together, which is easy. It's like baking cake. But the applicator takes it's a little tricky for some women. So you just have to play with it. But once you get the gel in the applicator, you can do it in more than one time. So you get a little bit of gel, insert, a little bit of gel, insert. 3/4 of the gel is going inside, and then the rest of it is going on the outside. I like to just put on a pad and just go to bed and then wake up in the morning and take it off. So it's not really messy, because the gel hardens. So it's not going to fall out. I mean, I wouldn't suggest running a marathon after you put it in, but certainly walking around
Right,
is not
just
going to
put
take
it
it
in
out.
and go to bed. Yeah.
Put it in and go to bed is typically, but I've actually had it done sometimes in the day, like I'm right on the computer and working, and I'll put it in. So I'm sitting down. So yeah, and I'll walk into the kitchen. So you can walk around, but it has to take about 5 minutes to kind of set inside, because it's going to form like a plug inside of the vagina. But in terms of messiness, I've heard some women say that. I haven't found that to be the case. It's very cooling. I like the feeling of it. I guess the gel on the outside, maybe some will find that messy. But in terms of messing up your sheets, there's not, if you put on a pad, you're not going to mess up anything.
Okay. Awesome. That's wonderful. So, oh my gosh, I just love all this. I love that you figured this out and were creative enough and brave enough to try it in the vaginal area because that's what's needed. We need more women focusing on women's health. They have everything needed for men, right?
Exactly.
So, and you mentioned before we get on this call, like there are men who are interested in this product, and I completely believe it because I get husbands who just say, "I want my wife back. I want our intimacy back." And neither of them understand what's happening to her body or why they're struggling to be intimate, and nobody's talking about it or navigating that with them.
Yes, it's so true. I think for the men, it's clear. You can see that it's not functioning, but for the
Right.
women, you can't really tell. So it's internal, So, and the thing about this too, Dr. Tabitha, is that men are using the other one that they use on the face and body for the penis, because again, it's giving blood flow. So if a woman can think of that, that this blood flow is what's going to give you, just as you mentioned, it's going to help with sensitivity and the feeling, then this is something that men are doing it. Women are men without a penis. We're so much more than that. But we need to do something as well.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love it. Well, awesome. So we'll have your website in the show notes and ways for people to get a hold of this product. I'm excited to try it. I'm really looking forward to it. It sounds amazing. So thank you so much for all the work you're doing. This is just awesome.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for what you're doing too for women.
Oh, my pleasure.
All right. Thank you.
Wow. What was your golden nugget from that episode? I would say I had a couple of them, but definitely I love the idea of prevention and maintenance as opposed to waiting until you have all of the typical symptoms of vaginal dryness and pain, and you're avoiding sex and you're peeing your pants and like everything is uncomfortable down there. Like, don't wait for all of that to set in. Honestly, you guys, it's so much easier to maintain and keep your vaginal tissue healthy. And I just love this whole idea of, doing it at home where you don't have to go to the doctor. I mean, I would love for you to come see me, right? I love taking care of my patients, but there's a little bit of uncomfortableness with that. You got to drive in there. You got to, miss work or whatever. Whereas this, you can just have it mailed to your house and just do it at bedtime before you go to bed. So I'm really excited to try mine, and I want you guys to try it too. So click the links in the show notes, check it out, get the products. Let me know what about your results. I would love to feature you on the podcast. That would be super cool. You can tell me all about it. So awesome. I hope you found this beneficial. I think these conversations are important. And if you know any women in your life, age 20 to north of 50, 60, 70, like everybody needs to hear this episode. So share it with every woman in your life, honestly. All right. Go out and have an amazing kick-ass week, ladies. See you soon.